Hello there! Exclamation point. As someone who is amazed by the FPS boost initiative on Xbox, do you think we will ever see a similar project on PlayStation 5? PlayStation is running its own graphics API, probably in partnership with AMD, so it's not as if they're completely bound from a technical perspective by a third party. Running PS4 games in back compat mode is sometimes painful. It's sometimes painful to see such hardware be so underutilized. John, what do you think about this?
I mean, we kind of already have this, right? But it's a case by case basis. I think due to the way that the PS4 APIs and the way things work on that end, I don't see how they could come up with like a universal method for this, because Microsoft's kind of doing that virtual machine repackaging, right? And they're like directly interfacing with the game without actually changing any of the game data. And I don't know if that's feasible on PlayStation with the way PS4 games work. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've seen or heard of no indication that such a thing would actually be feasible. And if I feel like if it were to be feasible, it would have had to have been done a while ago, and sort of like the system would have had to have been created with this in mind somehow. And even then, I'm not sure how they would pull it off. So I feel like the only real solution is just what we've seen, which is patches. And to be fair, I think they tackled most of their big first party games with this. Yeah, we saw a lot of 60 FPS updates across the board. Not everything, but a lot of them. So, and there's even cases where games that, like Killzone Shadowfall, it didn't get a patch, but it didn't need one because it has an unlocked frame rate option. That's how it first shipped as well, right? So that's just straight 60. But it would be cool to have things like The Last Guardian, which can be run at 60, but it has a broken version that does so. Get like a fix, basically an official fix. So
it's an interesting question because obviously there are unofficial patches for 60 FPS on a wide range of PlayStation 4 titles, which can now be run on PlayStation 5. And we're doing some content with the guy who does most of these patches, Illusion. And I was thinking about this as to whether Sony could actually do it. I mean, we put out this clip on DF Clips, which was Strive Club, right? You know, running unlocked on PS4 and PS4 Pro, and then on PS5, it was just straight 60, right? And basically every single game where I've gone to Illusion and said, I think we'd love to see this at 60, he's been able to get it to work. And the reason he gets it to work is because, well, you know, he's basically patching game code, right? Which is exactly what you were talking about, John. But the issue is that to do things officially, the game has to be updated to the latest SDK. And that's problematic for games that were like done like, 5 years ago or whatever. They were running completely different development environments. But I do wonder whether the Sony answer to FPS boost would be to have some kind of OS level thing, which basically on a game by game patch basis does the patches that Illusion does to kind of make it work. And it's not going to be something, it is a hack, right? Fundamentally, it's not an elegant solution like FPS boost or doing proper patches. And it is a hack, and it would require full QA of the title done again. And sometimes, it should be said that, the reason Shadow the Tomb Raider, for example, got a quote unquote proper next gen patch is that FPS boost actually produced a crash that you couldn't get past.
Right.
So one of the developers of Shadow the Tomb Raider, before he left Square Enix, just decided, right, I'm going to fix this and put out a proper patch. But obviously that's not going to happen in a great deal of cases. So, it's the case that it would require proper QA to do these kind of OS level patches. It's viable, but it's just never going to happen. And yeah, you're right. It is painful to see such hardware be so underutilized, for sure. And it is a shame that stuff like The Last Guardian isn't going to get a 60 FPS patch. We've recently discovered actually that there's a big bunch of actual various graphics modes built into The Last Guardian which were never used.
All right.
Including like native 4K, not checkerboard 1890p. So, the patching scenario is quite compelling, but it is ultimately a hack, and I don't think they would do anything more than what they've done now, which is the patches that we've got.